Alright, continuing on with my Spider-Man series of reviews leading into Across the Spider-Verse. Today we're talking about my least favorite of the Spider-Man movies, the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Of course, we're just starting with that first one. And I'll tell you this, when I first saw this movie, I was like, what? I was like 9 when this movie came out, and I saw it in theaters, and I enjoyed the movie. Now, at this point, I had never seen the Sam Raimi movie, so I had nothing to compare. So to me, this was just a cool movie. And then I saw Amazing Spider-Man 2 in theaters. And even at, like, what, that was 2 years later? Even 2 years later, I was like 11. And at 11, I could tell something was wrong with Amazing Spider-Man 2. This one, though, uh, I've seen many times. I've seen both these movies many times because of the fact that these were the Spider-Man movies that I grew up with when I was a kid. Like, yeah, I've seen the Sam Raimi movies before, but these are the ones I've grown up with, that I've seen multiple times, that I have a fondness for. Right, this one is should be a movie that I remember, but yet I don't remember anything about it. So I popped it in last night, played it, and I didn't remember anything about this movie. And that should tell you what's wrong with this movie. First of all, the direction of this movie is boring. It's weird. Mark Webb directed 500 Days of Summer. A very innovative, interesting, weird style of rom-com that had never been done before. That was excellent. I love that movie. Right? Very stylized direction. Then he goes on to this movie, and it's literally like there's no style or direction at all. It doesn't feel like this movie was directed by a person. It feels like this movie was directed by a robot that the studio hired. Because there's no style or flair to the direction. Even in the romance scenes, I know people say, well, Mark Webb was good at directing those. I'm like, no. Because my theory about those scenes is just that Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone dated in real life. That's just what happened. And so a lot of their chemistry probably was genuine. So it's not so much, wow, Mark Webb's such a great director. No, it's more just that these two people have good chemistry with each other. So even in a not so great script or not so great movie, they can pull off that kind of vibe to it. So, yeah, I did not like that at all with this movie. I think this I think this fucking just sucks. This directorial piece. The energy in the movie feels very lifeless. Like every scene. See, what I've really noticed about this movie is that it is literally just the first Spider-Man movie, beat for beat, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I always, I mean, obviously there's a lot of like the Uncle Ben gets killed. He says a kind of a different phrasing: with great power comes great responsibility. And that's what's so weird about No Way Home, by the way. In No Way Home, Andrew Garfield says that he, with great power comes great responsibility. Uncle Ben said it. Uncle Ben does not say that with great power comes great responsibility in this movie. That is bullshit, and I really hate that part of No Way Home. Anyways, that's my rant about that. Um, I think that this movie has a lot of scenes like that where it's just like remaking the thing. But even like the Uncle Ben killing, I can deal with that. I'm not worried about that. It's like literally the scenes like when he chases down the killer, just like Peter did, and then he goes in and falls through a roof into a wrestling ring. So there's a scene at a wrestling ring when he figures out his costume for the first time, kind of like in the first Spider-Man. It just like, but everything felt boring and lifeless and just no emotion. Like when Uncle Ben died, I felt nothing. Also, that scene is so stupid because like Uncle Ben sees this man, knocks him down, he drops his gun, and instead of just walking away and or trying to move out of the way, the dude just yells at his gun and like jumps on him. Like, would you yell at an armed man with a gun? Of course he's gonna shoot and kill you. Like, what the shit? Like, what What the fuck is this? It's not a great movie. There's a lot of laughably stupid moments in this movie, and just I don't know. And also Peter in this movie, I know the idea he's supposed to be going like through teen angst or something in this movie, but like he really comes across very unlikable. He's rude to his aunt, he's rude to Uncle Ben, and then he just like even that scene where he's chasing down the killers. It feels a lot more mean than it did in the first Spider-Man movie. Like his energy, his tone, it's weird. I don't know. Andrew Garfield, I think, is definitely trying because if you know Andrew Garfield in real life, he actually loves Spider-Man. He was really excited to do this, but then, uh, this franchise didn't end up working out for him, which was unfortunate. But he was never the problem with these movies. But he clearly was never the right person to be Spider-Man, if that makes sense. Like he can do like the in suit stuff of Spider-Man really well, but when he's just playing Peter Parker, he doesn't work, and it just is like, okay, this whole movie's a mess. I hate this movie. I hate this movie. I hate both of these movies. This one, I think, less than the second one, but then again, I haven't seen the second one so long, so it might be equal. I don't really know. We'll talk about that next week. But yeah, this is a terrible movie. The Amazing Spider-Man movies are just awful. I know there's some people out there now who are like, no, they're actually good. Because especially after No Way Home come out, you get all these Amazing Spider-Man defenders, and a lot of people campaigning for Amazing Spider-Man 3. Well, screw y'all. Stop it. This is a bad movie, and like, I get it. Like what you like, cool. But at the end of the day, stop having like this fake version of like this movie in your head. And what I mean by that is like, No Way Home did not make this a good movie. Stop. Sorry. What a disaster of a movie.